The winners know when to quit. When you get on social media, all you hear is all these influencers and gurus telling you, don't quit, man, never quit. That's all great. But did you know that oftentimes winners do quit? And I want to talk to you about when it is appropriate to quit. Because as I analyze my life, I realize, and by the way, as I analyze the life of many of my coaching clients who are successful, they come from every sector of the world. I've got coaching clients that make $500 million a year in construction, to NFL athletes, to guys from the special operations community, from the Navy, from the Army, from the Marine Corps. And I share this with you because I see similarities. I've got doctors and scientists as coaching clients, and I see that the winners know when to quit and what to quit on. So I want to talk to you guys about that. If something is serving you in your life, you should not quit. Meaning if something is hard, it's difficult, it's requiring a very high learning curve, that doesn't give you permission to quit if there's a net positive outcome from it, right? But when things are not working for you anymore, or when something was serving you and now it's not, you've outgrown it, you've gone past it, you've outgrown a relationship and it's not serving you, should you still stay in it, in a friendship, in a partnership, in a marriage? If you have decided to grow and evolve and become the 2.0 version of yourself and your spouse has not, that they're still binge watching TV, eating bonbons, like living like a human animal, not connected to source, absolutely no emotional discipline, and you've tried everything you can to get this person to level up with you, and you find yourself living two different core values, you find yourself constantly bickering and fighting for the sake of keeping your vows, should you stay in it? In fact, I've got another coaching client who's an awesome, successful human being. However, in his words, he's a good Christian man, and I believe he is. And he's like, Bedros, I just never thought about divorce. I said, how come? He goes, well, I took my vows. When you took your vows, is your spouse living up to those vows? In other words, the core values of what God decided what marriage should be. He thought about it, and he goes, no. I go, have you tried helping her through with her excessive use of alcohol? With her constant negative state of mind? You know, yeah, I've tried, but she's just still in her own ways. His wife, let's say, got a little too friendly with some guy at the gym. I said, bro, listen, you've got to walk away from this. It is time to quit this marriage. I would rather quit something that I see no solution in the pipeline for than painfully go through it because I've heard from so many gurus and experts that don't quit, don't give up, stay in the fight. Stay in a losing fight? I mean, you could ask any warrior. There are times to retreat, regroup, and then go back into battle. That's another way of saying even the greatest of warriors quit in the moment to go back and replan, prioritize, organize, and then go back and execute, right? And you can do that too. But to stay in something, anywhere from a relationship, friendship, marriage, bad habits, vices, addictions, old thinking patterns, because that's just how it's always been, that's just straight up stupidity. And so I want to have this conversation with you guys because you must understand that which does not serve you in your current state of life, you must quit. I don't care if it's friendships. I don't care if it's relationships. I don't care if it's business partnerships. If you started a business because you thought this business was going to be the cat's meow and you keep getting deeper and deeper into debt because you think any minute now this business is going to take off and you know it's not, you ought to quit, cut your losses. And that's the difference between winners and losers. See, winners know that the never quit attitude is important. But they also understand that quitting is a functional tool to be able to survive, pivot, and then thrive elsewhere. Because if you don't quit somewhere, where are you going to expend that energy? You only have a finite amount of energy in life, right? You only have a finite amount of decisions you can make in a day. You have a finite amount of focus. You have a finite amount of time. So if you're doing something and it's not serving you, but it's something you've done all the time, or a business partnership that you've had for a long time, but now that business has gone into the shitter and you want to pivot it and your business partner doesn't, maybe it's time to cut your losses. I've done that before. I had a business called High Tech Trainer way back in 2003, 4, and 5. I had 3 business partners in it. And I realized that all four of us had very different directions. Two of us wanted to take the product in a certain direction. The other two had their own two ideas. And every time we would come into meetings, we would meet once a month on it. We would talk about how we're going to market this thing, how we're going to sell this thing, how we're going to scale this thing. It was constantly different views, different ideas. And the ideas were so far apart that I knew that we were never going to be able to compromise and come to a unified understanding. The pain had gotten so bad of this business relationship that on the days that I would meet with them in the mornings, the rest of the day, in terms of creativity, in terms of passion, in terms of like clarity, it was shot. I had nothing left in me. I felt drained. I felt like someone wrung me out. I was exhausted. All creativity was gone. And I realized, how much opportunity cost is this? And so one day I was like, I think I'm going to quit this business. And so I went to them and I said, guys, I'm willing to sell my shares in the company. Who wants to buy it? They didn't have the money to buy me out. And so I said, I let go of this because I valued my peace of mind. I valued my focus, my discipline, my daily routine more than the time that I would spend on that business for the fractional amount of money that I would make, right? It just wasn't a fair trade to me anymore. So I'm here to tell you that the things you can quit on are bad relationships. The things that you can quit on are vices that don't serve you anymore. The things that you can quit on are bad habits that you have that are limiting your growth and trajectory in life, right? The things that you can quit on are the negative self-views that you have of yourself, negative self-talk that you have, this conversation that's taking place in your head, that bitch voice that's in your head, your inner critic who's telling you can't do it, you don't have what it takes, that you might mess it up. You can quit that. You can stop that. The fastest way to stop that is to replace it with positive self-talk, to replace it with an undeniable amount of evidence of wins. So start stacking those little wins. People always ask me, well, then how do I change the negative self-talk in my head? I go by making yourself a confident, badass gangster. And the way you do that is you start keeping the promises to yourself. And then soon your inner advocate begins to root for you and cheer for you and encourage you. But for that to happen, you've got to start stacking the micro wins. The micro wins start by not hitting the snooze button in the morning. The micro wins start by doing the things that you said. If you said, I'm going to drink 30 ounces of water when you wake up, like I do, great, drink it. Right? If you said you're going to work out by 9 a.m., go work out. If you said you're going to pack your meals and eat healthy, pack your meals and eat healthy. If you said you're going to make 10 sales calls that day, don't make 9, make 10 or more sales calls. What I want you to do is start stacking all the micro wins in your life. And day after day, week after week, month after month, as you do that, you begin to build credibility and confidence with yourself. And when you do that, you begin to lose that negative self-talk. So it is absolutely okay to quit on the things that no longer serve you in your life. And when you do that, you realize that life is actually better.